The girls who are making career choice decisions should be made aware that they do, in fact, have choices that they may make, not that someone else has already made for them.
Women in the workforce no longer are some kind of oddity or some kind of rarity. They will continue to exist in greater numbers.
I do believe in the right to fulfill your goal in whatever career you choose. And it's just proving yourself and not buckling under the pressure.
Actually, since I've always been a woman, I didn't realize it was so unique not to be. I never realized that what I was doing was unusual.
They can dig ditches, and they can go to medical school, and they can become lawyers.
If you suddenly took all the women out of the labor market, the standard of living of many families would drop.
A woman's place is a woman's place. She's got her job to do, the man has his job to do.
And it's true, they cannot do the type of physical work that's required of them, yet they want to compete for those jobs.
And there's no reason why, if they can equal the strength, they cannot do the same activities exactly as men. Exactly. If they can duplicate the activity, why not?
In our line of business, they couldn't carry scaffolding, set up heavy scaffolding. That's beyond their means.
What changed our lives so radically, of course, was the Industrial Revolution, when work moved out of the home. As we become much more technical, work does not depend on brawn. You can't say it's men's work or women's work because we all have certain capabilities. Many men cannot go out and lift heavy items or do heavy manual labor any more than many women. Women have always been part of the workforce, whether that's been paid work or whether it's been forging the new frontier. And nobody ever thought it was so weird for the woman to help build the house and to make the clothes and to do all of that. As machine power replaces muscle power, as child care and home care no longer occupy a major portion of a woman's life, more and more women are planning careers. 9 out of 10 women today will work at some time in their lives, whether it's called a job, a career, or a profession. New lifestyles, together with changing attitudes and laws, now make it possible for women to choose work they like from a wider range of occupations. More and more, women are making sure they get the educational training that can open doors for them.
Women who are taking advantage of these new opportunities are women who feel that they have the capabilities and work as well as men have.
I didn't come for the job right off the street. Somebody told me about the pay. I thought they were joking. Hard hat and boots, forget it, you know. But when I figured out the money, I said, well, I should at least give it a try. The first day I came in here, they showed me around the plant, and they said, well, you have to climb up here, so I just did. I just figured, well, that's part of the job. There's always a pipe to hang on to if you feel insecure. You don't think about the height or the vapors or what's in there. You just think, oh, that's an oil refinery. They make gasoline. The heights really don't bother me too much, I found out. It took me a long time to even begin to understand that. I thought a pump was a pump. When I would say the pump is doing this, one man would say, you know, which part of the pump? And I'd say, I don't know which part of the pump, the pump. Now it isn't so much a question of whether a woman's needed to fill this job or not. It's a question of whether the woman needs the job. I need the job as bad as a man does. Because I can't make this kind of money and support 3 kids unless I have a job like this. I work 80 hours in 7 days. So it's time to cash the paycheck and go to the store and spend it. I feel really good at work. I don't look at it as man or woman, and you just hope that more like you than don't like you. No, I'm not going to let the kids paint their own room. They want to. They all want to, hey, Ma, can we have a paintbrush? No, they cannot have a paintbrush. I already told them that. I have a good deal of independence working now. I never thought of coming to an oil refinery or doing men's work or anything in that order. I just thought of the money.
confirming, Mrs. Alvarez. All right, thank you very much. Yeah, funny thing about it, I had no nurses in the family. Dr. Cartwright, you're needed downstairs again. I enjoyed working with people even as a teenager. I felt that maybe nursing was the type of thing that I should go into. I've never been dissatisfied with my decision. Hi, Bob. How are you?
Oh, okay, I guess.
I'm Catherine Alvarez. How long have you been sick?
Oh, about 4 days.
About 4 days. What's been your problem?
Really bad sore throat.
You know, looking at medicine,
Nauseous.
you're talking about at least 10 to 12 years. You take any medicine today?
A little ounce.
You're also talking about a great deal of self-sacrifice, a great deal of putting off what you really want to do. Nursing, you're talking about 3 to 4 years. Nothing since then?
No.
With nursing, I felt that I could still function as an individual and still be doing the type of nursing that I wanted to do. And for me, that's important. Have you had anything to eat today?
No.
How about last night?
Just a little bit.
In time, I'd like to become a nurse practitioner. I think that nurses in an expanded role as practitioners, where we can do routine physical exams, this is a role that nurses can take on, and I would like to take that on. Okay.
For as long as I can remember, the first thing I ever wanted to do was be around horses. I was light, good on a racehorse, and I was going to try to be a jockey. The tradition has always been men in this business. Up until maybe 15, 20 years ago, they wouldn't let a woman on the backside around the barns. That was something they did not do. A lot of the fright comes from the parents and teachers. Your parents always taught you, you can't go play baseball. That's not what a little girl does. It's just because of tradition. Tradition, I think, has kept women out of a lot of jobs. Well, I'm under constant stress. We travel at a pretty good speed out there, and there's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. You know, I feel it, but I have no trouble handling it. Women has been generalized by a few who can't handle themselves and break under pressure. You really got to be completely dedicated to this business. Otherwise, you might as well not even try.
Straight up. I was the first, and I'm black. They were just as happy to see me as I was to get here. Being a double minority, I found it necessary to ride a little bit while the opportunity was there, because 2 years from now, it may not be there. Well, it's difficult to familiarize yourself with air brakes and pressure and equalizers and reservoirs. I enjoy driving, and I like machinery, but engines don't frighten me or anything. You know, I have to be alert. I'm carrying lives. The people that travel, the commuters, it's very important to them because most of them work in the city. Well, right now, I'm a trainee for the engineer position. I'm sitting and I'm observing, calling signals. I am working a position that was occupied by men, and the idea that there are some people behind me saying, oh, she'll never make it, that gives you a lot of drive right there. Right now in this program, I'd like to get to be top engineer and take that long road home.
As a classical exercise, I see people coming up in medicine. Certainly there are more women with each entering medical class. The most important thing when you're deciding on what you want to do is to sit down and say, what makes me happy? What do I like to do? And then try to see how a career can go about implementing that. There's obstruction at the level of the aqueduct. It never actually occurred to me not to have a career. I've always enjoyed schoolwork. Any career is demanding of time. You obviously have to give up something. I think this is where many women become frustrated when they get into careers, is that they suddenly realize frequently they are going to have to delay marriage and children because you don't have the time to develop in both ways. You have to realize that it's going to take longer for you to acquire many of the things that people that aren't involved in careers can have right away. Being a woman is something that You can't hide by putting a person in a certain job or in certain uniforms. You walk in with an idea of, I am a doctor, I'm going to do my best to help this particular individual. I think it's part of the concept of I'm a person trying to do a job rather than I'm a woman trying to do a job. Medicine in general and surgery in particular, it's not just a career, it's a way of life. And if you're willing to do it and if you want to do it, you'll be happy doing nothing else. One of the most important things in surgery is you have to be able to say, I don't know. And this is very hard for many people. You either sort of have it or you don't. You have to have a desire to make things better. Primarily what surgery is all about, of course, is making life better. That's why I got into the business in the first place. You have to be able to watch a lot of very good people die and to stand by and realize that you can't help them. This also is a very difficult thing to do. The image of the doctor is changing. My career in medicine is going to be totally different than someone starting 30 years ago. We're going to get through only if we do develop the ability to look at ourselves very critically.
Everyone, please rise. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Lake Superior Court, Room 3 is now in session. The Honorable Phyllis Senegal presiding, pursuant to adjournment. You may be seated.
Good morning, Your Honor. Someone asked me whether or not I felt obliged to be a better judge than a man would be. And I had to be honest about it, and I said, no. Would you swear the witnesses, please?
Yes. Witnesses, please.
I said, you forget about my being a woman, because I'm not thinking about it. I established that so that we don't have role playing. When I went into law school, I felt very good about my own femininity. It's hard to tell the mother of 3 children that she's not a woman. Now, I'm 46. And people say, well, you're supposed to be upset and uptight every day. And I just feel great. I don't have this feeling that youth is leaving me around the corner and somehow I've got to trot faster to keep up with it. No, that has not been established conclusively that he's not the father of the child. I don't think there's any stage in our present day life where a woman can say, I know I'm taken care of. Well, counsel, I think the court realizes that these meetings sometimes are the beginning of a reconciliation. The surge in family income that we've had in the last 10 years hasn't been due just to salary increases, but the fact that there's 2 people bringing home the bacon. Judge Senegal wants you. I work because I need the money. Women are living longer. And in this day and age, every woman has a responsibility to take care of herself. Notice of the hearing.
Will I get a copy of your order?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Most women get into politics out of wanting good government. They sometimes don't go as far as men have gone, supposedly because they don't have the same quest for power and money. Just drop him a note and just tell him. Now, I think that women are certainly going to have that quest, too, but I would like to think that what they will bring to the public sphere is this sense of helping things to grow.
You know, I hope he does that with all of his candidates. And information on registration here, if you know any people who aren't registered.
Hi, Dee Clancy. You're from Oak Park.
And I have been a full-time homemaker for 15 years, so I'm prepared for the fact of doing twice as many things. We need sometimes to try 2 or 3 things in our life before we ever hit upon the thing that we really want to do. Women no longer have to make the choice between family and career. It is possible to combine them.
Oh, I'm delighted. Are you registered? No. Oh.
The thing I really like about campaigning and about politics is the people. The reward, of course, is being able to use what you perceive to be your talents to help people's lives be better. I see government as the means to do that. For me, that is the most exciting thing in the world that I could be doing. We can't be shutting doors for women and saying, no, that's not ladylike, or that's not feminine, the ultimate put down. You don't want to be one of the boys. The point is you do want to be one of the boys, because one of the things that you hope to do in this process is to help the boys be better.
Fire from police. We have a report of an auto accident with multiple injuries.
Opportunities are opening up for women, and women are being able to find that they have almost every career open to them if they really feel they're good and they try for it.
But there's more help wanted for women. I think we're going to see the day where men are going to be secretaries. I think they're going to be forced to just to get a job.
It's an interesting comment because originally all secretaries were men. And when men got tired of being secretaries, then women took it over. And when they got tired of being telephone operators, women got it. Jobs in the factories that men didn't want, women got.
The message is, you can do anything you want to do.
There are certain choices you have to make. A man makes the same choice.
Very simply put, it's doing something every day that you want to do. In a very long training program like medicine, certainly financially, one is going to be on the poor side of things for many, many years. And that's just something that one mustn't become bitter about or disillusioned about.
Women themselves, individual women, have to decide themselves whether or not they want to take that step to maturity. When I got this job as judge, many men were upset. They felt if she could have it, I should have had it.
We will continue to fight.
The struggle for women is still in its infancy.
Employers who profit from sex discrimination.
It's women's fault. We're more than half the population.
If you take women working in offices or something like that, and if they do the job, I think they should get equal pay like what they're talking for.
When discrimination comes, most of the times you're not prepared to deal with it emotionally. If from the beginning you have not been taught to be yourself and to speak out for what you think is right and what you think is wrong. When you decide, I want to have that job, then you have to make up your mind that you're going to fight for it, no matter how many disappointments you're going to get, if that is what you really want to do. You're not going to make a change unless you're forcing a change.
Maybe women are fortunate that they have the option at this point in time of making that choice of what kind of a job they want to have.
You know, even if I didn't work here, I would go back to working someplace else. It gives me a sense that I know something in life.
With liberation comes responsibility, and women are going to be more responsible for their lives.
I think that women are seeking a chance to fulfill their own ambitions and goals. That expression does not come easily to them because of barriers that are put in the way.
It's the freedom of choice. Women are going to have to struggle for it, but there are many humane, good people who are going to assist them in doing it. Still, they're going to have to fight. We always have to fight for things that we really want. Nothing comes easy.
They want other things besides the money. The money may not be the biggest thing for some women. Some women may want just to get out and do something. And
I think each person has to examine what's best for their life and what meets their needs and their family's needs.
They should make these choices because they feel good about them. It's their life, and they should feel good about what they're doing.